Hello. Hi, you're muted.
Hello. Hi, Mynoo. Hi, Anushri.
Hi.
Hi.
You're looking very beautiful, Deepa.
Thank you.
Did you have your Rakhi celebrations?
No, actually, we don't celebrate Rakhi. We celebrate Bhai Dooj more over here. So
Okay,
that way.
right. I have a particular perspective about Raksha Bandhan in the way it is created.
Correct.
Uh,
Correct.
So we do celebrate anything for the sake of celebrating, but a bond for protection feels very stifling.
Yes, born for protection. Correct.
Yeah, it's like if there is a way to define a codependent relationship, that is it.
Correct.
So, okay, we'll begin. Today is a very special day in India, really celebrating the relationship between brother and sister. We were just talking about the way it was originally created, which seems a little bit odd and not necessarily about celebrating the interdependence as opposed to codependence between brother and sister. So we were just talking about that a little bit. So hi, Sarah Jane, really good to see you.
Hi. It's good to see you too, Mynoo.
Hello, Mary Catherine. Hey, Justin. Lee and Meena ji, hello. Hi.
Namaste, pranam. Hello.
Pranam, namaste.
Ji.
Okay, so we were just talking about today is a very special day. It's a day when you celebrate the relationship between brother and sister in India. It's called Raksha Bandhan. It's just the name is like a bond within for protection, which seems a little bit odd in terms of really what the intention is. It is a celebration of that form of relationship. So that's why a lot of our Indian friends may not be here today because they're all celebrating. It's very, very very special internal family celebration. So we can begin with a check-in word, first of all. Since there are just a few of us, we'll do a quick check-in. I'm checking in with Majesty. Over to you, Deepa. One word to check in.
I'm checking in with Joy, and I pass it on to Ashmi.
To Meena ji.
Yes, Ashmi is my pen name. I write poetry and paintings under that name. Thank you. Well, my one word is, I always collect the words Jago. Joy is grace, omnipresent, and celebrating,
Yes.
celebrations. Yes. And I pass it on to Lee.
My word is gratitude. And I will pass it on to Monica.
Unmute, Monica.
Yes, my word is excitement, and I will pass it on to Sarah Jane Dias.
Unmute, Sarah Jane.
Thank you, Monica. My word is intrigue. And I will pass it on to Dipanvita. Have you gone yet? Oh, you've gone already. Sorry. To Asha.
Unmute, Asha ji.
My word is love. Love, love.
Okay, and you pass it on to Justin, Tarun,
Yeah, just
Jill.
yeah.
just on.
Great. My word is vitality, and I pass on to Mary Catherine.
My word is curiosity, and I pass on to Jill.
Jill, you'll need to unmute. Okay, we receive you, Jill. Tarun, over to you. Unmute.
My word is continuity.
Okay, and you pass on to Anushri.
My word is celebration. I passing back to Mynoo.
Okay, great. Well, it's time to open it up for questions. So without further ado, I'm just ready to receive any particular questions that you may have.
Can I ask you one question, please?
Yes, Ashaji.
Yeah. Though we know so many things, hey, one should not do this, or this is not right, this is wrong. People behave, the external, nothing is in my control, the external, whatever is happening. But even then, I just become, I just indulge in that, and then I suffer. So how to do that? How to remove? I understand when I'm indulging that time also, I know that I'm just creating, pain for myself. That outsider is not giving me pain. But then how to do that at particular moment? After knowing also.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good question. And it's a common issue that we come up with. The most important thing is where the cycle of asking these, experiencing this kind of repetitive habit, it's not even a pattern, it's just a habit really, happens when we beat ourselves up. So it's like we're giving energy to the fact that, oh my God, here we go again. I know better and I'm doing it. So you're giving energy to that. So you'll end up making that mistake again and again. But so the way to break that is to notice, oh, this has happened again. Okay, fine. I unconditionally accept this for now. I'll go through the other side of it. Then you're not giving energy to that. You're actually observing and noticing, and the universe is picking up. She doesn't like that. She's cutting it in the bud. That's what happens. That's the way to do it. But the moment we say, oh my God, I keep doing this again and again, you're giving energy to blaming yourself for this.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happens, right? So then you literally, like, it is as if the power lies in us to power ourselves up.
Yeah.
But we keep taking our battery out all the time.
Right.
So that's all it is. So when you see it happen, you just go, okay, I see I've done it again.
Yeah.
Right. I unconditionally accept what is and move forward.
Right. But that particular time, I get some, something is, something is going in my chest. I feel
that yuckiness, that yuckiness comes in straight away. Right. So all there is to do is to notice and then make that choice in that moment. I unconditionally accept what is.
Yeah.
And you're not giving energy to beating yourself up.
Right.
Okay.
And unconditionally accept it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashaji. Okay, Sarah Jane.
Hi. I wanted to ask you about fibromyalgia and what your viewpoint is on it.
So I'm actually not going to go into the symptoms of the condition or anything. I'm really just tuning in. See, I'm just tuning into the vibrational essence of it, right? And why that vibrational essence of this condition becomes more prevalent in certain people than others, right? So the way I look at it, the way I'm taught to look at it intuitively, as I have allowed this wisdom to flow through me about the human body and the human form, is that there are three systems that we have. And it's the harmony of these three systems that actually keeps us in perfect health. So there are the flow systems, organ systems, and energy systems. The flow systems are systems such as the circulatory system, the lymphatic system, the endocrine system, right? Where there is a flow that takes place. And it is in the flow system that disease first comes in. But it is meant to flow through and leave. The disease, and it begins as a dis-ease, like discomfort from ease is how it begins, right? What happens is, and it's meant to just flow out, really. However, if we go into the organ systems are systems that have got a collection of organs. So digestive system, excretory system, all of those kind of things. Organ systems are affected by emotional distress, right? And different organ systems are affected by different types of emotional distress. Okay, so it is the distress that puts a load on the organ. Okay, so just visualize, Sarah Jane. And I just want to say one thing. I'm talking to Sarah Jane here, and she's asked a question. The fact that this dialogue is happening in your field, there is something there for you to take from this. So rather than sit back and listen to, oh, that's interesting, okay, it doesn't really apply to me. The fact that this is happening in your presence, there is something to get for you. Okay, so just be very engaged with that. So what happens is, just imagine, there used to be these Russian dolls, dolls used to be there, right? And they would like bobble, right? You push it down and it'll always come back to the center. It always knew how to find its center. Our bodies are like that. Our body knows how to find its center. If our body knows, what is our body made up of? These trillions of nano cells. Every cell knows how to find its center. Now, the same Russian doll that is bobbing back and forth can come back into the center. If you load it, then it attempts, but it can't come back to the center, right? So what happens is our organs within the organ system get loaded by emotional distress, right? So they become weaker. So when disease comes into the flow system, it finds the organs which are loaded, and then they can't flow. So they actually go and load those organs even more. Okay. However, most of the disease you can actually completely turn around by releasing emotional distress from your space, from your field. Emotion is different than mental. Mental is more thought related. Emotion is more feeling oriented. Okay. The energy system. The energy system is all about life force. So cells are birthed all the time. Our bodies are engaged in birthing new cells. Our average age from when I tune into my body, and it may be slightly different only with others. When I tune into my body, the average age of my cells is between 9 months to about 14 months, right? That young, my cells, and that'll be true of pretty much everyone, because the cells are rebirthed, all the time. So we have a very unique opportunity if we get our life force systems working well through breath, through the chakras, making sure that the chakras are unblocked and there's a flow there, through meridian points, acupressure points, through the mudras. They are all life force system centers, right? So that's like the foundation from which I'm speaking. Okay. So basically, fibromyalgia it's not a flow system disease. Something came into the flow system. That can happen, right? And it has an impact on us based on emotional distress. The emotional distress that translates itself in the form of fibromyalgia, and then you have all forms of its symptoms that show up, is emotional abandonment and rejection. Okay, that is what is the one that is perfectly in tune with fibromyalgia as a physical condition, right? So how do you deal with that? I always say first is to go and do a lay of the land. Look, 90% of any problem is resolved when you understand it fully. Okay, so do a lay of the land in terms of, now that you know it is that emotional distress caused by abandonment and rejection, then look at the lay of the land physically. You know, if you were to just really look at your physical presence, where are you feeling this feeling of abandonment or rejection? Is there something that you are abandoning about your own physical body or your own physical structure? Are you abandoning even recognizing certain aspects of it? You know, are you rejecting certain strengths that you have physically yourself, or have you experienced others do it? We're going to use the way to deal with emotional distress really is use the power of acknowledgement. You know, because otherwise you get so consumed by emotional distress that whatever condition you may have just starts to multiply, you know? So by just acknowledging very thoroughly, your mind is very engaged in acknowledgement. It's not spinning out of control. It's got something to do, you know, and it knows that you are working with the mind. So you are going to survive, not a problem. Your survival is not threatened, right? So you begin with physically, where am I experiencing abandonment or rejection? Then you go into mentally. Mental is thought oriented, you know? Have you been, has your thinking been just trashed or by certain people or in certain circumstances, you know, where it's just been rejected outright? Are you rejecting your own thoughts because of what you might have experienced? As a result, you're not expressing yourself fully, you know? Then you look at the emotional part. Am I ignoring certain things that I'm feeling? You know, are others not being sensitive to how I feel, which leaves me feeling abandoned and rejected? You know, then you go into the spiritual part, which is am I allowing some things to exist in my field that really disconnect me from the spirit of me? Or have I got so consumed in my own emotions or in my own experiences that I'm out there abandoning and rejecting the spirit of other people? You know, have I engaged in something that inadvertently might have destroyed the spirit of nature, for example? I'm just like giving you certain things to work with, you know, and then you look at the social dynamics. Are there particular social dynamics where there is abandonment and rejection? You know, environment, the environment that I live in. Do I place myself in an environment which are actually loving and caring, or am I constantly putting myself in environments where there's rejection and abandonment? Now, once you've done the lay of the land, right? The idea here is to see, then when you've done the lay of the land, you go into, is there anything else that remains to be acknowledged in the context of abandonment and rejection? Like really get yourself to feel whole and complete about that. And then it is like, okay, I unconditionally accept what is. Now I can move forward. Now, when you move forward, you go into envisioning you whole and complete, fully received, seen, accepted, truly, madly, deeply in love with yourself and everything that surrounds you. You know, what would that look like? I'm asking you to work on the emotional part so that wherever, and fibromyalgia, the symptoms spread very fast, you know, and they really spin out of control very, very fast, right? And it can feel very debilitating. And that's only because it is, you know, it is linked to this emotion of abandonment and rejection, which can also be something that spins out of control, so it is very much related to that. So my resolution, which is a solution coming from a resolve of emerging as whole and complete, is really dealing with this emotional piece, and then you can take symptomatic medication and it will deal with it. The condition won't keep coming back. Because fibromyalgia is one of those things, it's like a curveball, everything is going well, boom. And then it's like, oh my gosh, you're muted. You're muted.
I said, because I've been frantically making notes, and you know me, I will work on it. I just want to clarify two things. One, is it because can you accumulate? I mean, I think I know the answer already, but can you accumulate all this emotional turmoil? And then, of course, you know that I was on anti-anxieties, antidepressants, etc., which have now come off. So
yeah.
Is it possible, because this is what it feels like for me, it feels like I'm detoxing, and so whatever's been stored in the body through the years of rejection from the industry as well, because it's been 23 years for me, and I've taken a step back from the industry as well.
Yeah.
To then figure out where I stand and then re-enter, so that I'm no longer feeling rejected and abandoned. So can you store up all the emotional, physical, chemical rejection and abandonment from actually consuming things plus mentally consuming things, and can you be in a place where I am right now, where I feel like my body is just in need of detoxing from all of that?
Yes. So it will automatically detox. See, remember, the load is there. Right. So even the flow system can't flow very well. Right. By doing this exercise, you're lifting the load. Your body can it is designed to clean itself. Right. Automatically, but it's not able to flow. Got it. Okay, so it will. Yes, there will be detox symptom, but this is not detox. Okay. The scale of where it is going, you've given yourself permission that, okay, I'm done with it. So yes, it is surfacing, but the symptoms are such that, yeah, they do have an effect physically. And to deal with it physically only brings in more poisons into your body. Hence, I'm saying, okay, go into the emotion part, because that's the origin. And it is these two feeling emotions. Okay. Now, do this piece first, you will automatically lift, the load will lift. Then there are certain breathing practices, When you've done this, you just message me. I'll then send you a video which will guide you through certain forms of breathing that will get the life force systems really reactivated.
That last line you said, Mynoo, which I really wanted to write down. You said, once you're done with acknowledging, you said, envision myself as whole and complete. And
yeah, whole and complete, really showing up fully in really vibrant vitality. Everything is just humming along perfectly. All the systems are in a wonderful dance of coherence. Right. How do you look like? What do you sound like? What do you feel like? Got it. Now take it from there. Okay. Thank you, Mynoo. Thank you. You're welcome. Tarun had already said he wanted to go next. Okay, come on in, Tarun.
Hey, there we are. So, as always, I have few parts of few questions, so I'm going to try and. Okay, so first is, I think you know the context of this already, but the last time when we spoke, you said, and I said to you that some people I can't get them to my clearing. And you said, because I give the facts the meaning. So I was like, okay, now let's just try not giving it meaning. And I couldn't get around it, because it's exactly what it means to me. And the second part is more work related. So a set of my colleagues essentially sort of do, because we work in a financial sort of environment, so taking clients, etc. And they do that because they think I don't understand Chinese, but it turns out that I do. I contextually get most of what is going on. So as a consequence, so you said choose a consequence rather than the action. My consequence was to just ignore, just keep quiet, right, and cut off a larger part of the communication. Keep it to not even basic pleasantries, but if required situation. If I have to speak to you, I will. Otherwise, I'd rather be calm and peaceful in my own tent that I've created in my head. And what was very interesting was the organs when you spoke about, right? So for me, the blood sugar has been haywire, and so I'm very curious to know. Of course, I know pancreas, but
Okay.
but there's more. There's more to. I don't know. That's the question.
Okay, so I'm going to first talk about the fact versus meaning. Okay. And Tarun, you've heard me say this a lot, just drop the try, don't try anything. Take your time, make a decision. When you make a decision, act on it. And if the decision is not to act on it, don't act on it. It's okay. Just don't try at all, because it's just, it comes with an innate vibe of exhaustion. So it's not even worth allocating that amount of energy to trying anything. Take it, assimilate it, consider it, decide, and take whatever action is in line with that decision. So there was as you take what I'm sharing now forward, don't try to deal with fact and meaning. You choose whether you're going to operate this way or not, and then go ahead and do it. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Whenever something happens, literally whatever happens, actually it is there is no emotion attached to it. You can literally just look at it, something happened, and it will be a mental observation. That's it. It's the feeling. When feeling comes in is when you start feeling bad or upset or anxious. You know that feeling is never related to what happened. It's only related to the meaning you gave it. Okay. And it's okay to have feelings. I mean, hey, we are humans. So it's okay to have feelings, but just know that feeling, a feeling towards something that happened, is only related to a meaning. Now, sometimes it's difficult to discern what the fact is because the meaning is so real, and I mean, there's a movie that has just come out called Darlings, on Netflix. It's on domestic violence. And I'll do a series on it. I experienced that. There were like scenes in it which were exactly the scenes that I went through during my 10 years of domestic violence. I can talk about this like this because to me, it's just a fact now. And yet when I was going through it and many years after, I could not talk about it. It was my secret, because there would be feelings that would arise. And even after my spiritual journey that I went through, I was able to talk about it. But if a movie came in, which had scenes like I had experienced, it would shake me up from within, and I had to go through and process it. This was the first time where I was able to actually watch the entire movie, and it was fine. It did nothing to me. I just stayed in a factual land. And my sister was saying to me, oh my God, I'm like the mother character, constantly up wanting to protect you or take you out, and you would just always give in. We were actually laughing about it. But that's because we got to a space where even something like that, like domestic violence of pretty gross kind, we were able to look at it as a fact. So I know for a fact that when we engage with something that is a fact, there is no emotion. The moment there's an emotion, it's still related to a meaning. And the good news is you can feel the emotion because the meaning is something that you gave to what happened. You know, it is not permanent. It is not lasting. It will go away, right? So that's the good news. Once you understand logically that, I'm feeling this way because it's a meaning I don't understand, but the meaning seems like my reality, it actually isn't. So fine, I will feel it and it will go away. And it does go away. It stops having that gripping, upsetting hold over you. You know, then after a while, you can actually start engaging with the fact itself. Okay, so this is how I would guide you to start separating the fact from the meaning. You know, it's very natural that the meaning feels like it's so real because you feel it. You know, like even when I'm beaten up and okay, I was feeling it hurt. So it's like, it is real. It hurt. There was physical hurt, but the mental hurt and emotional hurt pain was so much bigger, you know, that and actually after I had my son and the domestic violence continued, the physical pain meant nothing. And the mental and emotional pain, when I was with my son, even that didn't exist. You know, so what happened? What happened? How did it all suddenly go away? It didn't actually, you know, it was however I was processing it, I was able to rise above it. So we can do that in any situation. Okay, so that's one piece, Tarun. And the main thing is, you know, have a go with this and don't let it fester for weeks on end. Take it, like today, I'm actually going to operate from facts in everything that I do. 24 hours of fact. It's a fact binge.
Okay.
And, you know, notice the breakdowns. Because on the other side is a breakdown, is a breakthrough. You know, reach out if you feel that you're stuck and you can't get out of it. Don't let it fester at all. So that's one piece. The second one you asked about was the consequences part. So here's the thing. So you chose to, you know, not necessarily engage in too much conversation with your colleagues, right? Now, before you took that action of, okay, I'm not going to engage too much with my colleagues, they think that I don't quite understand Chinese, and actually I get a pretty good sense of what they're up to, but I'm not going to be in communication with them. That's an action you're choosing. What is the consequence of that? Before you take the action is how you would say, so, and that's how I'm going to behave with this. What's the consequence if I behave that way? You know, what's the consequence? Tell me.
So the consequence essentially is they continue, or actually there's just a couple of people, so they continue doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I keep getting that information. B is I'm peaceful because after a point, I don't really care, to be honest, as long as I get my information. And so I'm still tuned in, but tuned out.
Okay, so there are two consequences. One is they don't really change; they keep doing more of the same, and you are at peace, regardless of what happens. So here's how the choice to consequence to action operates, right? So you are choosing, you're about to choose that action. You pause and you consider what's the consequence. The consequence is they're not going to change. They'll keep doing what they're doing, and I will somehow make my peace with it, and life will carry on, right? Will it? So then you would say, okay, I am choosing to make peace with them continuing to do what they've done before. I declare, I'm choosing that. Now you go ahead. So that's what you would choose. You're choosing the consequence. Okay. Now it does have an impact on, you know, forward momentum in your own career. If you make peace with something which actually is quite a dysfunctional type of dynamic, it does have an impact on that. But once you declare that that's what I'm choosing, then you become aware of the real cost of that choice, you know, and you'll be able to pick up, okay, no, this so far is okay, but now I'm going to stand up and say something. But if you just be oblivious to how you're carrying on, you know, life carries on, and very soon it'll be time to retire and nothing would have changed. You'd have lived a life of making peace with the compromise. Well, that's not what your life is really about, right? And that's why what I'm doing here is bringing that vigilance so that you're consciously aware of exercising something that you're born with, which is the power of choice, you know, and applying it in day to day in a, and by you saying, I know the consequence, you're honoring that you trust your own intelligence about it. You are, and then saying, okay, I choose that consequence. You are honoring your own worthiness. You're taking the power back wherever you might have given it, because before they used to have the power, right, of your experience. Now you're taking that power back. You're then acknowledging your own worthiness. It allows you to stand in your mastery and walk your path much, much more easily than you were doing before. Okay. So that was that particular piece. Was there a third one?
The third one was what causes, so basically blood sugar has been a problem recently.
Okay. Yes. No, pancreas is one of my favorite subjects, by the way. This is one organ I have done a lot of work with myself. So pancreas as an organ, it becomes lethargic primarily because of our lack of understanding of the digestive system, right? So digestion is a three-part process. It's ingestion. You ingest something, you absorb the nutrients, and you excrete that which is not needed, right? So we ingest, and we die, and then that absorption takes place. Pancreas create at least 265 different digestive enzymes. Insulin is only one part of it, right? And a lot where the pancreas are used and they're activated, and they then remember their originating intent, and therefore they can regenerate themselves, is through the chewing of our food. Because the pancreas release the digestive enzymes in your mouth. Many simple carbohydrates are digested in the mouth. The stomach acids do not digest them, right? However, think about how you eat rice. Think about how you eat bread, you know? We don't necessarily chew them enough. So as a result, they're actually not digested. They go into the stomach, acid comes in, you know, putrefaction takes, fermentation and putrefaction takes place. You can dump away acid at something that is not digested. Remember, you only have teeth in your mouth. The rest of the digestive system is a muscle. There are no teeth. The way it works is through, you know, the muscle contraction and relaxation, and through various acids, and the contraction and relaxation moves the food as it is digested throughout the digestive system. So if you've got a lethargic pancreas, sure enough, there are various other factors that affect insulin. This is not a session on that. I would say maintaining pancreatic health, you will transform your pancreatic health by becoming consciously aware of your chewing. So swallow your solids and chew your liquids. What I mean by that is, you know, any solid in your mouth, chew it until it becomes liquid so you can swallow it. That way, you know, the digestive enzymes have been released into your mouth by the pancreas. The pancreas start waking up. It starts operating the way it is meant to. You know, its originating intent. The smile returns to the pancreas. So really work on the health of the pancreas. Insulin resistance and insulin, like, you know, not being receptive to insulin is really the main issue that one needs to work with, but this is not a session on that. So I would say for you right now, all I'm getting to say to you is, and by the way, pancreas are affected when you lose your smile.
Lose your smile?
Yeah, that is the emotional distress that has a direct impact on the pancreas when you lose your smile. Okay, so you start smiling, you know, in the face of whatever is happening. Remember, your body knows the truth. So you can't, just putting on a fake smile is not a smile for the pancreas. It knows, you know. And when you chew your food is fire in the belly stuff. food has got so much nutrition and nourishment, and you're chewing away. It's like a meditation. Pancreas start to smile because they're being used well. Okay, thank you, Tarun.
Try this. Thank you very much.
No, do not try. Do not try. Drop the
Mynoo,
phone.
Mynoo,
I'm
it
gonna
was
do it
beautifully
tonight.
explained. Beautifully explained.
Thank
I'm
you.
going through the same thing. I'm also going through the blood sugar problem, and something amazing thing you have told. Thank you, Tarun, for asking this question.
You're welcome. This is
Very
the
nice.
point.
I think you have to explain this properly again more and more.
Well,
Very nice.
we'll share the extracts of these.
Right,
Ask me
please,
anything,
please share. Yeah, please share this.
And yes, and I know that Justin had put his hand up. So Justin. Are you there, Justin? You need to unmute.
I am. Yeah. Thank you, Mynoo.
Okay.
So my question is around weight loss. I've lost a lot of weight in the last 6 or 9 months. As you know, the 9 months prior to that were quite stressful, and perhaps that had, a good amount to do with it. But I'm just curious if you have anything to share around weight loss and ultimately weight gain, which is really the objective and the focus.
It's to do with weight release and weight gain. Our bodies actually don't like to experience loss of any kind, so they do prevent the loss from happening. Sometimes the release of weight takes place. Usually, weight release is a sign of health, when your body automatically releases weight. If, as a result of releasing that weight, you feel physical symptoms and you feel mental distress, which can happen with certain forms of out of balance nutritional components in your diet, then there is something to be done there. I would say, Justin, when we go through a huge amount of stress, which can occur, sometimes it triggers a toxic release from our system, from our internal system, to such an extent that when we start recalibrating and returning back to our center, our body just wants to release those toxins. And along with it, we lose some of the weight that would have been holding on to those toxins. Weight gain in the context of, I have a reverse issue. When I go into stress, my body just puts on these layers of protection very easily, and it takes a long time to release it. But I can, put on 2 or 3 kilos in a weekend very easily. I don't necessarily even have to eat too much or anything. And that's just a way in which my body's automatic responses. And at some point, I would have created that form of response. For some people, the response to stress is weight release. And then when they get back to their center, here's what what I'm guided to say to you, Justin. It's a way in which I want you to bless your food, whatever food that you eat, okay? And eat, by the way. Are you okay for me to just share the blessing that I invite you to take on? You're muted in case you're speaking. I can't hear you. Just unmute yourself. Okay.
I apologize. My signal went out and I missed that blessing bit. If you
I haven't,
are repeating it.
Yes, I actually did not share the blessing. I wanted, my guidance was to receive a response from you before I share it. And so I knew I couldn't see you there.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so here's how I invite you to bless your food. I do this all the time, right? So what I do is before I eat anything, I just go into this blessing where I say, um, I'm grateful to all the beings that have come together to make this food available to me right here, right now. I also bless and express my gratitude to all the beings within me and the being of me to receive complete nutrition and nourishment from this food. And with that, I give permission to my cells to go forth and absorb that which is in service of my highest good. And I go ahead and have the food. I'll do a voice
Brilliant.
recording and send.
Yeah, please share this.
Thank you. That was
Now,
so nuanced.
Mynoo, I have one question. Anushree here. So
Yes.
my question is, can I do this too?
Everyone can do it, and everyone just enjoy doing it. Now, when I say I bless and I express my gratitude to all the beings in me and the being of me, you know, more than 90% of our body is made up of microbiome.
Right.
It is, we have more beings inside of us than just our own human form. And this microbiome is the one that creates your internal terrain. So, and we totally ignore it, you know, and we often engage and indulge in stuff that destroys it. Sometimes it's done consciously, other times it's done inadvertently. So with every meal, even if it is just some, you know, banana chips that I might be picking on, I will do this. So that way what's happening is I'm really acknowledging all of those microbiome beings in me, you know, and the being of me that is holding my internal terrain together, and honoring them for having the capacity to receive the full nutrition and nourishment from what I'm feeding myself. I even do this when, if for any reason at all I have to take antibiotics, I even do it for that. Because sometimes it has been absolutely necessary to take it, and my system has always reacted negatively against it. This way what happens is it doesn't, you know, my system receives the benefit, and the beings in me process out that which doesn't serve me anymore. I even did this before I took the vaccination. So the beings in me allowed me to get the benefit, and the negative stuff was taken out. And it also means that we don't hold bitterness or negativity against anything, you know? We really are honoring. I mean, people have, you know, the best interests at heart. And sometimes the fractures in the human disguise show up, but really by and large, everyone is a magnificent being. So yes.
Please share these blessings.
I will. It feels phenomenal, by the way. When you do it, it just feels so good when you do this. And it's so short.
Yeah, very nice it is.
Okay. Meena ji, I know you had your hand up for a question. So yes, go for it.
Hello, Mynoo ji. I have so many questions, but you know, I'm so present to synchronicity. Like recently, Mr. Bhandari ji was there. I really want you two people to meet because both are on the same mission for uplifting. And he said, it doesn't matter what type of food you eat, how you eat is important. And you know, I was going to ask you this question. People are talking about organic food, homegrown food. But more than that, he said, whatever I get, he's a vegetarian, of course, but he said, whatever I get, the feeling, the intention that I eat with is more important for us, for anybody for that matter. And that stuck to me because we are talking about, oh, we got Trader Joe, organic food, this, we are cooking like this. So very present to that, whatever you said. We would like to get that prayers, thank you prayer before starting the meal from you. Look forward to that. Well, I have 2-3 questions, but whatever comes from me.
Can I just say one thing about that? Because, I do travel a lot, and okay, when I'm by myself and I have access to buying organic food, and sometimes I'm staying with other people, and you just don't know about the organic and non-organic and stuff like that. So the blessings absolutely helps. Now, sometimes there just isn't availability of organic food, and so other times it is labeled as organic and it's very clear that it isn't. So there's a way in which you can actually prepare your vegetables, which actually removes a lot of the pesticides and stuff. Okay. So basically what it is if you take a tub of water, just regular water, a tub of water, and in that you can add like a cupful of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar or any natural form of vinegar is better, but if you don't have it, doesn't matter. You just add any vinegar and some sliced lemon and just allow the vegetables to soak in it for a bit. Doesn't have to be for that long, maybe 20 minutes or something, and they just release their pesticides, and then you can just wash it and use it. It's very simple.
Yes.
Very simple.
Yeah, and I even heard from my mother-in-law that the way you cut the vegetable, any type of vegetable, they also have art. How you cut it, what size you cut it.
Totally. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody here who's ever cooked with me. I cut my vegetables very differently. Like carrots are to be cut in a particular way. Leeks are to be cut in a particular way, celery in a particular way, lauki, courgettes in a particular way. And that brings out the nutrients very powerfully. Macrobiotic form of eating is a very interesting form of eating. And it's all about really feeding your life force systems. So when you, so for example, well, maybe I'll just do some videos next time. How to prepare these different vegetables.
Yeah. One more small question. I'm very curious. Recently, I found out about we all have spirit animals, we have totems, and we have guiding stars, guardian angels, and our archangels. Very curious about it. It's a very different field. I never knew about all these things. Earlier, people are cuckoo, talk about guardian angel and all. But now I'm saying, no, there is parallel dimension. And I want to know more about it whenever you are ready, whatever you want to say, whenever. Up to you. Thank you.
If you look at the Hindu gods, right? Every god has an animal. If you look at it, every Ganesh is a rat, and Saraswati has got a swan. They all have an animal. So the animal is like, it's the animal is the steward of keeping you in your truth. That is, so your totem animal, animals are true to their nature. They enable you to come into your truth. So they are like a medicine to you. Your own totem animal is a medicine to you. And all you have to do is to think about this particular animal, and that animal, you feel the energy of what medicine that animal is bringing to you, right? So like, so your totem animal, which is your medicine, is actually a polar bear. Okay. And I mean, you can go and search online. You can go and search online. You can go and search online, polar bear medicine. What does that actually mean? And where I first came across animals was when people departed, crossed over. And it began with my mother. When I saw that she had gone and I was still with her, we were still really coming to terms with it, and then we were preparing her body. And it was as she was lying in rest in her coffin, and there were all these people visiting her and paying their respects, is where I saw that her totem animal, which was a white eagle, arrived. And that is the point that her soul actually finally left. So our animal, not only the remembrance of our totem animal serves us very powerfully in times of need, it also is the one that takes our soul into our light. Guardian angels, we are all born with guardian angels and spirit guides. Each one of us at least has 2 guardian angels, sometimes more. And they remain with us until we take our last breath in this human form. We also have guides, and these guides change depending on changing of direction that we may be going to. So we can have a different discussion about that. There will be at some point, I will have the Ask Me Anything session, and I'll just dedicate it to whoever is here. I'll tell you your totem animals, but that session is not today. You've got yours. Okay, you can unmute yourself, Meenaji.
And my spirit animal, like?
It is the same. It is the totem animal is your spirit animal, is the polar bear.
Okay.
Okay. So okay. I think indigenous American Indians call it spirit animal. I call it a totem animal, but it's the same thing. Your spirit animal is a polar bear. Mine is a dolphin.
Okay. Has it anything to do with the Rashi?
No.
Then how do you know?
It's nothing to do with the Rashi, nothing to do with this human form. This is what your soul connects to, and as many lifetimes as you may have, it is the same animal that is there. It's your partner.
So whilst you are,
I'll tell you when.
That will be next question on next Thursday. First question on next Thursday, right?
I'll tell you. I'll have a session very specifically on this.
Please.
Yes. Okay, Meenaji, was that all? Okay, thank you. Okay, any other question? Let me see. Can we get dreams of the animal? Yes, you can. Definitely. They do show up in your dreams quite a lot. Crow plays an important role during the departure of a soul. It's actually to do with, it supports the release of the soul. The crow part, it's literally, if you've been with someone who actually crosses over right there in front of you, there's a particular sound, which is a little bit like a crow sound that happens when the soul actually leaves the body. And the crow itself is there to support that to happen. More about it whenever we choose to do a session on death as the new beginning. Yes, Gail, when I do the session on the totem or the spirit animal, I will share yours. Yes, Gail has been I've done a whole series on gut health in Beyond Meditation. So any of you that are interested in the gut health as a meditative way of really restoring it, just let us know and we'll give you the links to that. Yes, this is in terms of baking soda is alkalizing, so that's quite useful. Don't have it all the time because your body also requires regular water to get your pH in proper balance. A bit of baking soda is good. Okay, any other question?
How much vinegar to put? How much vinegar to put?
So if you've got a tub, like a sink full, then you just put 2 capfuls of vinegar. It's like half a cup, nothing major. You're not putting a lot. Hi, Sarah. You're spotlighted. Over
Thank
to you.
Again, to follow up on Justin's question, but on the opposite end, and I see Gail also had a similar question, is releasing weight. I think I put on my weight. I'm about 35, 40 pounds overweight, and it's it's bothering me mostly for my health reasons, but also because of look reasons. I think I put it on because of grieving, personal grief, grieving over loss of people and grieving over loss of other, not, LSE and just grieving for myself and relationships, but also stress related. So I think that's cortisol related. So what would be your guidance on releasing weight? Is it positive to do? Right now I'm asking myself, should I do the master cleanse or 72-hour intermittent fasting like you do? Does that support the release in a healthy way?
So, Sarah, I'm not a living role example of weight release, right? I'm a very classical, relatable yo-yo a role example.
I know.
I'm like,
I know. I've also
so
been cooking with you, by the way. We've also
yeah,
cooked
you
together.
have. That's right. We cooked
Yeah,
together
in Bali and at Joni's. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. So so really where I'm going with it for myself, it was like, okay, weight, I'm really not focusing on that for myself at all. I've just chosen to have internal well-being. And for me, it was like, okay, I'm the age that I am. What is it that really will serve me at this point? What will serve me is if I can get a nice, good dollop of stem cells in my gut and keep my gut really healthy. So the gut automatically releases the stem cells into whichever organ requires that support. So how do I do that without popping in pills? I do that through getting to 72 hours of fasting every week. So I've chosen that. You've done the master cleanse. I've done the master cleanse. It is phenomenal. It truly is phenomenal. So you could begin with that as a 10-day thing, and then go on a 24-hour or something once a week, but create a routine and stick to it. That's the key thing.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So now it is not weight related. What used to happen is it would be weight and, I would go weigh myself and then I haven't lost weight and I would feel like really sorry for myself and I'll go have a rasmalai or something. It's like, doesn't serve. So now I don't look at the weight at all, I just
Mynoo, you got muted suddenly.
Yes. So it's like, okay, I'm getting to 72 hours and my stem cells are kicking in, Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? I can take a couple more questions.
I have a quick question, Mynoo.
Oh, yes, Jill, right?
Nikita ji also has a question.
Okay, I know, Jill, you asked a question about the adrenals, and it's an important one that I would like to answer.
Yes, that's the question. Thank you.
Okay, so let's have Jill on the spotlight. And so adrenals are these tiny little button-like glands that sit on top of the kidney. So you have two tiny little buttons on top of the kidney. They are your adrenals, right? And where is your kidney, right? Your kidney, if you just put your thumb in, make a fist, and then you put your hand at the back, that's where your kidneys are. So you're just like going, I don't know how to show it. So I'm going like this, that's where your kidneys are. Okay. And I'm showing this to you because kidneys are best healed by your own energy. Okay. And the way to heal them is once you know where the kidneys are, you utilize the energy that is in your hands. Just literally hold your hands in front of each other and you'll start feeling an energy exchange that starts to happen. You feel a little bit of heat developing. And it feels as if like a ball is developing here, and you can squish it a bit and you'll feel that there is a resistance there, right? You can feel the energy. And you know, I'm not asking you to bring your hand in. I just want you to just feel the energy that is there. Now, allow yourself, give yourself permission to receive all the energy that exists in your field, to just channel itself as a healing energy through your hand. You're just saying, okay, whatever energy that's there in my field that is in my highest good, and it's going to be healing energy for me, just channel it through my hands. And you'll feel your hands heating up a little bit more. Okay, now you're ready. You can then take your hands and just put them on your kidneys, first of all. Just put your hands there. You actually can touch your back. Just hold them there and give permission, like really mental permission to your kidneys to melt away and release any pent up anger. Anger is the emotional distress that is held in the kidneys. And the kidneys are very active. They are processing all the time. You know, so doing this from time to time is extremely helpful, where you just get the energy into your hands, support your kidneys like this, and just tell them, release whatever pent up anger that might be showing up, just release it. You know, and I breathe in love, kindness, and compassion into my kidneys. And I breathe out gratitude and peace for a short time. I'm focusing on the kidneys, because once the kidneys are supported, it releases the load on the adrenals, right? And adrenals actually perform a very different function. They're a part of the endocrine system. However, because they are right, they sit on top of the kidneys, they get affected by when the kidney is loaded. Okay, now you can just relax your hands and just breathe into your kidneys. Just breathe in love, kindness, and compassion. And then breathe out gratitude and peace. Just 3-4 breaths like that. So now you've released the load on your adrenals. Adrenals, I think there is a very specific meditation I have done for the adrenals, but it doesn't matter even if you can't find it. This in itself, once the load is released, the adrenal can distress. It's such an accumulator of stress. You know, initially it is like it's appetite. It's like it's food. You know, the stress gets the adrenal going, and then it becomes like a binger on stress. Because without that excessive stress, it's as if you're not getting the energy. But at this point, it's just like someone with an eating disorder. You know, I have firsthand experience of that. You know, after a while, the food that you're shoving in your mouth is not enjoyable. You're doing it because you're just binging on it. You can't control yourself. And that's what happens with the adrenals also. But they're so loaded that whatever stress comes in, there is no outlet for it. So I always first go to the kidneys. So let me know how that goes, Jill.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very helpful. And then are there any supplements or like I know ashwagandha is good for the adrenals, but is there anything else?
Ashwagandha is great for the adrenals. There is something very specific for the kidneys. I'm having it now. I don't know what it's called. Let me find out. It's this fabulous tea that I make. Barley water is really great as well for the kidneys to remove the load. Ashwagandha, and you don't need too much of it, just a pinch.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, one more question. Monica, yes.
Mynoo, Nikita ji is waiting.
Oh, okay, Nikita, go. Nikita, yes.
Thank you, Mynoo ji. I just wanted to ask you about the rheumatoid that I have. So
The
is
the
there something
rheumatoid.
spiritual?
The,
Rheumatoid arthritis.
mhm.
So it's, I think, 7-8 years.
Yes.
And then in somewhere 3-4 years back, I even could not walk. And then I started having Ayurvedic medicine, and then I got better. But as you can, if you can see, this hand is a little bent. This is not as straight as this one. So something has taken place here, and that the hands, what are the things that I am still...
So I'm just thinking about I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm really going to share with you just the energy, the
spiritual
emotional,
or the energy.
the emotional side, which affects that the structural integrity. Rheumatoid arthritis is the emotional distress is where you feel as if that you have, for whatever reason, not been able to, or not been allowed to. You feel as if you've not been allowed to truly express and do what is your heart's calling. That and you it's as if you can't help it, so you then start stopping yourself. But you know you want to move forward in a particular way, but you believe completely that your environment or people or circumstances will not let you do it that way. That is really the emotional trigger for rheumatoid arthritis to develop. And then there are physical symptoms, and there are a whole host of other things that come up, but that is the emotion part. So I would say emotionally, the way to deal with it is take bite-sized chunks and look at the last 10 years of your life, right? And look at what is it that I really wanted to do that I felt I could not do, and identify what they are. Identify what they are, and then you create a plan, a set of, like this month, I'm going to take this part up. So, but I would say first to go back last 10 years, then go back 10 years prior to that, then go back 10 years prior to that. You will find, initially maybe nothing might come, then keep going until as far back as you can remember, even by you acknowledging, oh, right, that is what I really wanted to do and I wasn't able to. For whatever reason, I'm not asking you to be judgmental about that at all. It's like, okay, I'm now going to take it on and do it. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to take this one thing on this month, or I'm going to take this one thing on this week. What is my logical next step? What you're doing here is you're now taking down the shackles. Rheumatoid arthritis literally are like shackles, that start becoming tighter and tighter. And by doing it in this way, you're taking your mind along. Your mind is not feeling threatened. It's feeling like, okay, she knows the lay of the land and she's supporting us like this. She's going to survive. So your mind relaxes and you're able to unshackle yourself in a very, very logical and in a very present way. And then by getting into action, it's like your own bandwagon starts to roll. Our bodies can recalibrate most things. They can auto repair. So you will start to notice the difference. But first, work with it. I'm asking you to work with it by understanding that this is the emotion and this is how you will practically translate it into some specific action. Okay? And share how you're getting on with that.
Yeah. And a smaller question, like I'm quite scared of all the animals. I cannot see even a rat. I'll be on my bed, and even the dogs. I'm so scared. Like you told me that
there
are animals related. So
yeah. I mean,
spiritual side of
yeah, yours is a gecko. It's a particular type of like a dragon lizard.
yeah,
That
lizard.
is very common
Bigger one.
in Indonesia.
Yes.
So your spirit animal is a gecko. So I will pick out, or you can even go online and look at
Yeah.
gecko spirit animal medicine. As a spirit medicine, what is it? And see if that is going to help you overcome the fear of all animals. I don't need you to do any bravado stuff other than just know an animal is an animal, and it is always in its truth. It is always true to its nature, whatever its nature is. It doesn't question or judge itself, doesn't question or judge you either. It just acts. That is a big challenge for us as humans, to operate that way all the time. An animal is present. It doesn't maneuver and manipulate. It's just present in its true nature. So it's quite a lot of quite interesting learning from them. So rather than give energy, acknowledging that I'm fearful of all animals is good, unconditionally accept that, and start noticing, okay, a rat, right? What's rat's true nature? Look at it. It's being true to it. What if there's something that we can learn from that? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just the last question now, and then we'll complete.
Okay, you can take Monica's question, I guess.
Yes. Monica, you're bringing her in?
Hello, Mynoo.
Hello.
Hi. No, I just had a related question to the earlier discussion that since we are talking about spirit animals, can it also be like birds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from that kingdom.
It's
kingdom
from
of birds. It could be a reptile, birds, animals,
but do you
insects.
Anything basically?
Yeah.
Because I had just once, I had done this some years ago, and I just, I was just sending up something that, okay, show me something. And that night I saw a white owl just across, but I never saw again. Just that day, I think I just set out an intention or something that, I had read about it and I said, okay, let me see what turns up. So I don't know what was the, the meaning or significance behind it, or I just, but it stayed in my mind,
Yeah, that's what it is. So you can go and look at white owl medicine.
Do you feel, is that correct?
Yeah, it is. I was about to say yours is a white owl.
Really?
So you just, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you. That's what I want. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. I think that's what I wanted to ask. I just saw that and I just wanted to see if that came to you.
Yeah. I was about to say yours is a white owl.
My God. Yes. I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, but yes, I will look up. So white owl, spirit medicine. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I will.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, it is time for us to complete. So one word to complete. Dipanvita, your one word to complete, and you pass it on.
My one word to complete is peace, and I pass it on to Jill.
Mine is gratitude, and I pass it on to Mary Catherine.
Mine is also gratitude, and I pass to Gail.
Mine is joy, pure joy. And I pass it to, let's see who's here. Dipanwita.
We began with her, so you could
go sorry, I'll be okay. Taryn.
Taryn, okay.
Oh, great, thank you. My word is, strangely, what comes to my mind is chewing.
Okay, you pass it on.
Pass it to Nikita.
Yeah, for me, it's blessing.
And you pass it on.
Yeah.
Okay, to Monica. Monica, passing it on to you.
Yeah, my word is thankfulness. And I pass it on to Asha ji.
Yeah, fearless. Fearless.
Okay, great. And you pass it on?
To Anushri.
Thank you, Ashaji. My word is gratitude and informative. My words are actually, and I pass it on to who is left, Minaji.
I thank you. And my closing words are sacred secrets yet to be explored and to be found out. And I thank you for that. And thank you, Mynoo-ji. And you can pass it on my behalf, please.
Okay. Talks.
Hello, everyone. My word is nourishment. And I pass it to UCA.
Okay. Unmute. UCA, unmute. Okay, we receive their completion. Rishi. Unmute.
My word is learning.
Great. And you can pass it on to Lee. Lee, has it been?
Yes. My word is my word is appreciation for you, Mynoo, and this whole group.
Thank you. And Gail, have you been?
Yes, mine was pure joy.
Okay. And Nikita, you've been as well, right? Okay. And mine is majestic magnificence. With that, I declare our session complete. Thank you all. I will be doing the Beyond meditation in about 8 minutes.
You'll see.
You can come back to that if you like. See you later.
It's my It's my first breath day today, Mynoo.
Oh my God, Gail!
This is a great beginning.
Gail, you have to sing "Happy First Breath Day" to you.
To myself?
To yourself, and we will be in celebration.
No.
You sing so well, like just, you sing it as if I'm singing it to you. Go on.
Oh my God. So, okay, let's see if I can. I haven't warmed up yet. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gail. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday to everybody, even if it's not your birthday.
Happy birthday. Yay.
Thank you, Mynoo. I love you all.
So happy for you.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Stay on the connection, Mynoo. We don't have to go out and come back in, right? We can stay on.
Yeah, I can stop recording. You can stay on. I will just disappear, make myself a hot cup of tea, but I'll be back.
Yeah, good.
Okay.